What if I told you that there's a way that your organization can increase productivity levels, profitability, and employee satisfaction without making any substantive changes to your budget? Would you squander such an opportunity without a thought? You wouldn't think so, but that's how most businesses operate currently when they disregard the health of the workplace. As you now know, anxiety is a huge problem in the workplace for both employees and employers. In cooperation with the Coalition on Mental Health in the Workplace, we are here to discuss with you, business professionals, the importance of diffusing the costs associated with anxieties and creating healthy and successful business environments. My name is Natalie Cohn, and I'll be providing you with a brief overview of the ideas that we'll be presenting today. Later on, I'll also be discussing some of the options available to you and your organization to ensure that you successfully accommodate anxieties within your respective business environments. My associates will each discuss specific actions or outcomes relating to anxieties within the workplace, their consequences, the effect of their accommodation, or what you and your organization can do to effect positive change. Hannah Swanson will discuss the effect anxieties have on your businesses as a whole, including performance effects and associated costs. Shane Spring will discuss the types of anxieties commonly experienced and the effect these anxieties have on the employees, whether this be physiological, psychological, or social. Alice Euchre will discuss existing legal regulations that protect you or your employees with diagnosed anxieties, as well as present current accommodations that have been implemented throughout organizations. She will also provide some company examples to further highlight these types of voluntary actions taken by organizations. Jacob Martinez will provide a summary of the benefits your company can expect to experience after making accommodations for anxieties, with a focus on several very successful companies that are seen as pioneers in creating healthy workplaces. Myself and Samantha Davey will discuss the proposals for action that you and your organizations can implement to find your own successes and markedly diminish the negative effects of anxieties. The benefits that you and your organization will experience speak for themselves, but even solely considering the nullification of the consequences experienced by both you as an employee or employer and your respective employees or employers, the accommodation of anxieties is critical to the health and success of your business. Now here's Hannah to discuss some of these effects.
Thanks, Natalie. As you've read, there are a number of different types of anxieties that are currently legally regulated by the ADA, although they preclude many common emotional experiences that also alter your employee's physiological state, overall work performance, and even have negative repercussions on their personal life. Fortunately, we will discuss with you today necessary accommodations that diffuse these emotional workplace experiences and anxieties. We will also be mentioning businesses that have recognized the impact anxieties can have on a business and have subsequently chosen to implement these types of imperative accommodations. When you as an employer forego the necessary accommodations associated with anxieties, you are in a sense letting your employees unwittingly sabotage the organization. Consider that, according to the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, anxiety disorders are associated with poor job productivity and short and long-term work disability, resulting in more than $4.1 billion in indirect workplace costs. You as a business simply cannot afford unnecessary costs like this and still expect to be productive. Even when your employees who exhibit anxiety attend work, they are often disengaged and, according to the APA, run double the risk of poor work performance versus those without anxieties. Currently, your staffers with anxiety might be displaying characteristics like presenteeism, a phrase used to describe attending work when unwell and unproductive. When you as an employer take action and help facilitate the improvement of your employees' productivity and performance by creating an informed and accommodating work environment, you will easily diminish the unnecessary costs related to the anxieties in your workplace. In reality, when you as a business assist your employees who have anxiety, you're naturally serving yourself too. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you're the employer or the employee in the organization. If anxieties are accommodated for, everyone benefits. Furthermore, when you adapt a work environment for your employees with anxiety, you are addressing the associated costs to both yourself as an employer and your employees. For example, look at presenteeism. Although it might seem like it would have little impact as workers are still present, a study conducted by Harder and Associates found that 88% of the workplace associated costs of anxiety disorders were attributable to presenteeism at work, suggesting that anxiety disorders are characterized by the working wounded and bare-hitting costs to you as an employer. Based on these statistics, anxiety in the workplace is both problematic for your business as well as your employees. However, when you as an organization commit to facilitating the creation of informed and accommodating work environments for your employees with anxieties, you can neutralize the negative implications of these staggering figures. As employers, you might fear that these improvements will considerably increase your organization's spending. But according to a study done by Hart and Associates, no more than 500 accommodations provided by Sears, Roebuck and Company from 1978 to 1997 reported that the majority, 72% of workplace accommodations, had no direct cost to the employer. When your business provides cost-effective resources and some sort of intervention for your employees with anxiety, you're essentially helping your staffers get the assistance they need to live functional, fulfilling lives. Speaking of attempts to live life to the best of our abilities, Shane has some ideas to share with you.
Thank you, Hannah. Anxiety, from the everyday variety to more serious disorders, has many negative physiological and psychological effects on employees in your organization. Anxiety disorders are serious, clinically diagnosable mental illnesses. In particular, there are certain types of anxiety disorders that tend to be more common among the workforce, including generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, panic disorders, phobias, and separation anxiety disorder. For more specific information regarding anxieties, you can look up a particular disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition. You can also find out more information about how each disorder affects your company's employees within our report. Although there are many different types of anxieties, a large number of the physiological symptoms that you or your coworkers may experience are similar. Some of the most common symptoms you or your employees may experience are referenced on the website of the American Psychiatric Association's Center for Workplace Mental Health. These include physical complaints like sweating, trembling, stomach upset, and difficulty speaking, intense panic or fear, and constant unwanted thoughts related to the anxiety. Even if you haven't experienced these symptoms yourself, you can imagine how traumatizing they might be. It follows that your organization sees a loss in productivity due to these effects. You can't be expected to work effectively while attempting to ignore these kinds of symptoms. And you can't expect your employees to function efficiently without working to accommodate these types of symptoms. Many of the negative effects previously mentioned can result in adverse conditions for you or your employees. Unsurprisingly, your employees affected by anxiety disorders will be highly stressed. Even if you don't have a diagnosable condition, anxiety increases your stress levels immensely, which can have a negative effect on your personal productivity and your organization's overall productivity. In fact, results from the Global Benefits Attitude Survey showed that more than half of employees with high stress levels reported being disengaged. Furthermore, a study by the Anxiety and Depression Association of America shows that this stress flows into other areas of an employee's life, with over 3/4 of participants saying that workplace stress affects their personal lives. If you or your fellow employees are affected by anxiety, they are more likely to become distracted and overwhelmed, causing their workplace stress levels to significantly increase. This stress often carries over to you or your coworkers' personal lives, meaning you or your coworkers may be even more overwhelmed and unproductive at work. This negative cycle in which workplace stress and personal stress continuously reinforce each other means that the people in your organization are often left desperately struggling to succeed. Alice will share some thoughts on how you and your employees are protected. Alice?
Thank you, Shane. Currently, your company might view accommodations for anxiety as unattainable. In reality, it is very simple for you and your organization to plan and implement the kinds of changes that will create significant improvements for you as an employer or as an employee. Small adjustments to your organization's operations are often all that is needed to make a positive impact in the lives of your anxious employees and the overall success of your business. Presently, American organizations are held to ADA standards. The American Disabilities Act requires employers to accommodate employees that fit their definition of mentally disabled. But according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, this only accounts for 18% of the working population. Unfortunately, this means you may have many employees that are unable to receive a clinical diagnosis of anxiety, or perhaps may not even know they need one. It would be advantageous for you to consider the implications that these unknown anxieties present for your organization. Additionally, the ADA's requirements are very minimalistic and may not be fit for most people, including some of your staffers. Fortunately, there are now many companies stepping forward to go above and beyond for the sake of their employees' mental health. To start, many companies have begun holding training seminars for their upper-level employees, such as supervisors and managers, to teach them how to spot and help alleviate anxiety within their lower-level employees. This type of training is an effective tool that your organization can utilize. According to multiple online business sources, both the HR company in Phoenix and Google have implemented training sessions to start a discussion and spread awareness within their respective companies. Increasing awareness can be implemented within your own organizations at no additional cost. Your business needs to initiate discussions to allow for the best solutions to be found and implemented. Another option you could consider would be opting for a health insurance plan that covers mental health care. According to Daniel McConnell, a marketing manager at Microsoft, Microsoft's employee health insurance plan covers mental health and allows for 24 sessions a year with any psychiatrist that accepts the plan. Additionally, according to Forbes, some companies such as CHG Healthcare are taking it even a step further and hiring in-house mental health counselors that are available to their employees anytime during work hours. After determining the resources available to you, this can be an incredibly useful tool for your organization. This accommodation is especially helpful for your employees who have a panic disorder and may need help quickly and suddenly. Employing both of these types of mental health care means that your employees can be supported both during work hours and outside of them, ensuring they always have the help they may need available to them. At the end of the day, the more you support your employees, the more they will support your organization. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jacob.
Thank you, Alice. Anxieties have a substantial impact on the success of any given business, and it's incredibly vital to consider them so that your organization can thrive. When you focus on your employees' well-being, you can see increases in productivity and employee loyalty, among many other benefits. The health of your business is dependent on the health of your employees. Coordinated relationships between the two of you need to be cared for. When your employees feel supported, it increases their drive and motivation within the workplace. And with the rise in employees' motivation, you're likely to see increases in both productivity and efficiency. When it comes to companies that are seeing results with accommodations in place, there are several that successfully diminish the negative effects of anxiety with the help of some incredible features. Elise Kalish from The Muse reports that companies such as Dropbox, Rocket Games, and Google provide on-site amenities that boost employee morale, reduce potential anxiety, and in turn lead to higher productivity and increased growth. When your organization focuses on the employee, you can achieve the same outcomes. Out of the examples I have mentioned, it is no surprise that Google takes center stage when it comes to this overarching topic. Being the second largest U.S. company in terms of market capitalization, as reported by Investopedia, Google is one of the best examples of how your company should serve your employees. Our report describes a number of great amenities offered by the multi-billion-dollar business. Some of these amenities include providing bicycles or electric cars to get to staff meetings, as well as gaming centers for leisure time. Google also supplies on-site physicians, nurses, and medical services. All Google employees even enjoy excellent benefits, including paid parental leave terms, death benefits, and a global education leave program. These unique features are just the tip of the iceberg, demonstrating that innovative workplace environments can combat workplace anxiety. You don't have to implement all of these changes, but you must acknowledge the success that they are associated with. Your business can capitalize on these benefits through your own efforts. These accommodations have moved Google up in overall employee satisfaction across all U.S. companies. PayScale reports that 86% of employees are satisfied while working at Google, while 73% find their jobs to be meaningful. These are ratings that your organization should strive for. Additionally, 12% of Google employees report that they do not find their job stressful, which is quite significant when comparing it to other U.S. companies. On the 2015 Fortune 500 list, a list of the top 500 most profitable U.S. industries, there are only 53 companies with lower stress levels. Decreases to stress levels of this magnitude allows you or your employees the opportunity to focus on organizational goals and achievement. With statistics like this, Google has propelled itself to the 27th overall spot on the Fortune 500. You can easily encourage your employees in this manner or find motivation yourself should your organization make the decision to implement accommodations for anxieties. Google understands what it takes to promote productivity and increase positivity in their workplace. This is something they have been doing for quite a long time, and it seems that they have perfected it. You should use them as an example for your organization. They've just become the poster child for demonstrating that a series of minor accommodations can make a major difference. The non-competitive and laid-back work environment, combined with an openness for creativity and sharing of ideas, has proven to be highly successful in a business environment such as Google's, and it will certainly be successful in yours. Perhaps you don't have the same kinds of funding, but if you emphasize an employee-focused work environment, your employees will take note and your business will reap the benefits. Of course, not every organization can be as successful as Google overnight. However, there are steps your organization can take today in order to better handle workplace anxiety tomorrow. With that being said, I'll turn it over to Natalie, who will inform us on some of the proposals for action that you can consider.
Thanks, Jacob. There are many different levels of organizational activity that you can affect when ensuring the accommodation of anxieties. Often from an employer's perspective, you can make smaller changes that dramatically affect your employees' perceptions and performance. A study by Mellefont and Associates conducted in Queensland, Australia, cited some of the most successful, slight organizational changes that you can make. These include allowing for telecommuting, creating flexible schedules, creating balanced workloads, allowing for alternatives to face-to-face communications, implementing support services, training your management to be supportive, and designing anxiety-friendly workplaces. Each of these options, as discussed in the report, diminishes one or more of the negative effects and anxieties experienced by your employees, and subsequently increases profitability of your organization. These adjustments vary in their immediate costs to your business, but ultimately provide benefits that far outweigh their respective costs. It is imperative that you consider the long-term effects that these accommodations yield. Another key component of successful accommodation involves direct action taken by you within your organization. Don't wait for the consequences of anxieties to burden you and your business before taking action. Callaway and Day state in the Canadian Journal of Behavioral Science that healthy workplaces are a result not only of the absence of job stressors, but are also a result of a presence of organizational resources to help employees handle job and life stressors. You need to start from a position that allows you to achieve advantage. Waiting for anxieties to present themselves within your organization means that you are already at a disadvantage in your attempts to minimize their effects. Be proactive and ensure that you are working toward maximizing benefits rather than solely eliminating consequences. Samantha will discuss further accommodations.
Thank you, Natalie. Now, if you're an employee handling anxiety, you should stand back and look at your current workload. You should also attempt to access any options for accommodations that your company may already have in place. Once you have done each of these things, bring your issue to human resources. When you come into the meeting with a basic understanding of what your company has already provided for you, you're more likely to receive a positive response. You have done your part to educate yourself. It is possible that there are online resources already available to you, though you may not be aware of it. Often, your organization will have resources that get lost in the mass of internet communications. If you find this to be the case, encourage your company to be more vocal about those resources that are available to you so that you and your fellow employees can become aware and get an accommodation that you need. Once you have determined what is available, bring attention to your more personal concerns. According to Hamilton from Monster Career Advice, asking yourself questions like, are the deadlines reasonable and are your self-imposed deadlines reasonable, can help narrow down possible areas of overstress that you and your organization can address. If you and your supervisor have discussed your concerns and you feel like some accommodations need to be made, your organization needs to implement further resources. These discussions prior to implementation allow your company the opportunity to acknowledge these unmet needs. This will further allow your company to set precedents for future accommodations that you and your employees might need. If multiple supervisors within your organization seek accommodations for your employees with anxiety, it will further highlight the effects of anxieties for your human resources department. To help generate discussion and conversation, I would highly recommend sharing any standing accommodation for anxiety as well as any new accommodations that your organization implements on your company's work forum or any work-related websites that are easily accessible to your employees. As an employer, this will give your employees peace of mind knowing that they can talk to someone to help them manage their anxiety to increase overall productiveness. Remember, like other mental illnesses, anxiety carries its own stigma and misunderstandings from others, so always keep an open mind and be accepting. As an employer and as an employee, these are just a few proposals that will help lay out foundation for the successful implementation of accommodations within your organization. You need to take action now. Anxieties are real and present problem. They are affecting your organization's productivity and success as we speak. Focus on your employees as individuals and increase your workplace health. Ignoring these anxieties is only of detriment to your organization, and accommodating them can only yield improvements. Whether you're an employee addressing your own concerns or an employer or manager concerned with productivity levels, you can increase awareness about the problem of anxiety within your organization. There are cost-effective solutions available to you. Recognize that your organization, productivity, profitability, employee satisfaction, and overall success are dependent on your employees and workplace health. You cannot afford to ignore these effects. Thank you for listening.